My name is David Luna. I'm the founder of Match It, and Match It is the best way to find a new smoking buddy. So before I get started here, I want to ask really quickly, who in this room has ever consumed cannabis or knows someone that does? Please raise your hand. I know someone that does. Alright, so it's good to know there's some people here that can relate to this. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the cannabis community. So cannabis is consumed and cultivated worldwide, and over 10% of the population in these 5 major countries consume cannabis on a daily basis. That's a lot of joints being sparked every day. And honestly, when I first looked into this, I thought USA or Jamaica would be first, but Italy and New Zealand got the first. So my mission is to connect, educate, and expand the cannabis community. So the problem that we currently face is that there's still a negative view associated with cannabis that portrays the user as unprofessional. So most people that do consume cannabis usually smoke by themselves or with a very small group of people that they grew up with, because nobody wants to talk about their cannabis social life because of work, business, or whatever. So my solution is to provide an easy, friendly platform for the cannabis community that allows users to connect with nearby people to find a smoking buddy. What this means is that you'll be able to find people, whether you're traveling in a different city or state, you can always find new smoking buddies. It's kind of set up as a dating site, but it's not really meant for dating. So the way it works is that you create an account, you go to your profile, you talk about yourself a little bit there, and then it gets interesting. So users will be able to adjust their smoke buddy preference to find the perfect match. What this means is that you can filter out the specific type of smoking buddy that you're looking for. So for example, if you're looking for male or female that like sativas, that like vaping, that are entrepreneurs within 25 miles, you can do so, and then bam, it pops up. So once your searches are popped up, this is where the Tinder similar style pops up with the whole swiping motion. If you want to match it with somebody, you simply hit the thumbs up. You can swipe through their pictures, and people can only send you messages if they both agree to match it with you as well. So you're not matched with anybody else or receiving messages from people that you don't really want to talk to. So there are a couple of unique features about my app, one of them being the Explore Strain section, and with this section you'll be able to search different strains. So a lot of people don't know that there are thousands of different cannabis strains that have different effects. There's a sativa, hybrid, and indica, each giving you different effects. So here you'll be able to search specific strains. And then you can save your specific strain. For example, my favorite strain is OG Kush. So if I were to consume OG Kush today, I would save it to my weed journal, so that the rest of you guys that looked at my profile, you guys can look at my weed journal, look at the different strains I consume to see if there's any similarities there. I know there are certain people that only stick to certain strains. For example, there are some strains that are high in CBD, where it doesn't give you the psychedelic effects. So if people don't want to get really high, but they still want to enjoy a joint, they can do that, and they can find people that do the same thing. We will also offer like a dispensary lounge locator. Currently there's one company called Weed Maps, and they're dominating the market. They're charging dispensaries now up to $2,500 a month to have their services on there. We're going to offer a very smaller amount per month for dispensaries, just to help them cut their costs a little bit, to be able to provide more to their patients. So a lot of people ask me why now, why cannabis? Well, I say because more than 50% of Americans in the US are supportive of full legalization. And as of 2017, 80 states have approved recreational, and more than 20 states are medicinal, including Florida. And nearly 5% of the world population uses cannabis on a daily basis. Once again, a lot of joints. So a quick summary about the whole app. I had a bunch more slides, but I cut it down to 6 minutes. So as a team, I'm a solo founder. I'm all by myself. I started this when I was 19. I'm 22 now, so it's been 3 years. I had to outsource to India to build me a prototype. And then now we're on schedule to launch on January 1st when California goes fully recreational. So as of this moment, we have a fully developed prototype that demonstrates the layout and the flow of the app, which I've been using to pitch to investors. I also drive for Lyft. So I go to San Francisco and I drop these people off at these big buildings, LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, and I network with them as much as possible. We will outlast the competition because we offer a simple, easy platform that encourages these people to meet in person. So a lot of these social sites now, you can connect with people on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, but most of the times they're not nearby. And like I said, just kind of like a dating type of method way, you can find local people within your area. So like I said, if you're traveling, if you're in LA, you're in Colorado, Amsterdam, you can find local pot shops, lounges, people to smoke with. Our app will be free to download with a 99-cent premium option for people that want to get more exposure, get more experience out of it, but most of the features will be free so that everybody can use it. And we are going to charge dispensaries around $250 a month. Like I said before, right now dispensaries are paying anywhere from like $1,000 to $2,500 depending on how popular, how much traffic they're getting. And we're also seeking to raise $50,000 in seed money to kind of just be able to have a successful launch. Everything right now has been just friends and myself just working every week, getting paid, throwing it back into the company. So we're looking to really reach 50,000. With 50,000, we feel like we can generate a lot of users. As soon as we launch the app, we'll pay for a lot of marketing and really get our name out there. There are a lot of dispensaries that are really willing to work with us, but we just need to get to market first. So I haven't launched yet, but we're working towards it at the end of the year. And that concludes my presentation.
Laura? You get a couple seconds in.
All right. Sorry I'm late. I came a long way today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Laura Good. So we'll open up the questions. The first question that we have for you is, how can this community help you? And I'm thinking it's smoke or weed. No.
I mean, not necessarily.
I'm just teasing.
Yeah, no, for sure. The way the community can really help me is I found it that it's very difficult to raise money for cannabis. A lot of investors are still really like sketched out about it because it's federally still illegal. Although there are more states now that are going recreational and especially medicinal on the East Coast. As for example, Nevada, the government had to issue an emergency state within like the first week of July because it ran out of pot. There's such a big demand there. So I guess the help I can get from community is if anybody's interested with any type of money that wants to kind of get involved right now. Like I said, I'm by myself. So any type of skills anybody can bring on board that's willing to join me is basically what I'm looking for. I just moved back recently from San Francisco. I was out there for a couple of years with my friends just to pursue our dreams, and we kind of moved back. I helped my parents buy a house, and now that I'm here, I'm hearing about these different entrepreneurs that are in Sacramento. So, I just kind of want to, throw my ideas out here now and see if I can find local people that are willing to, help me grow and just be part of the team.
Open it up to general questions.
Out of curiosity, if I was a pawn shop owner for $1,500 a month, what am I getting?
So you're going to get a lot of traffic coming in. And actually, I'm getting ready to talk to the dispensaries in Sacramento to open up lounges. In San Francisco, there are currently, I think, like 3 or 4 lounges. So basically, if you meet somebody on my app, Match It, a lot of the times right now, it's like, okay, do we meet at a park? Do we meet at someone's house? Do we smoke in my car? It's kind of weird, right? So we want to partner with the dispensary so that people can, through the app, set up like a date arrangement to go to a certain lounge and, have like kind of like a sports bar, atmosphere.
So you're driving traffic.
Exactly, right.
What is the legality around it?
So it's very legal in states that have approved it already. In San Francisco, it depends on the counties. San Francisco, they already have the lounges. They've been had lounges for a couple of years now. I know Sacramento doesn't have a lounge yet, but towards January 1st, once it goes recreational here, the dispensaries are looking towards that option.
So it sounds like once you launch, right, what you really need to do is try and pull a lot of people to the platform very quickly. What's your plan for trying to just onboard a bunch of people? Because that'll drive your value to your true customers, which are the sellers.
Right. And there's luckily there are a lot of conventions going on. There's always HempCon and a bunch of different cannabis related high times, especially 420 events, at San Francisco over like last year there was over like I think over 5,000-6,000 people at Golden Gate Park. Everybody sparking joints and everybody, just communicating their different vendors there. So a big part of it I want to do is face-to-face. So, going to these conventions, being there, telling people about my product, but then also, social media, advertisement and stuff like that, really driving towards one market. That's what we're going to do.
And you think that 50,000 is enough to cover some of that marketing?
It's enough to get started because once we're able to get launched and we're out and we're on the market and we're starting to get these followers, our main way of revenue is to partner with the dispensaries. So, for example, there are over 2,500 dispensaries in California itself. So if we're even charging them at least $250 and we, let's say, partner with 100 in the first month, that's like 25,000 monthly revenue. So the 50,000 is really just to kind of get us started, be able to pay for a certain type of marketing and just kind of get out there and then be able to survive on ourselves.
So workaround for the lounge to kind of prove the concept might be to consider partnering up with hookah bars that already have all the permits in place, that already have the clientele that's kind of that mindset.
Right.
And it's a way for them to expand their clientele beyond people who are into tobacco smoke.
Right.
So once you make those partnerships with people who are already set up for
Right.
smoke structures,
Yeah.
you don't have to do any of the legwork of permitting, of approval, of finding a space. And then once you do that, land that a couple times successfully, maybe come up with some sort of rev share with them, then you could probably take that model and it'll be easier to sell.
Right, and our overall goal is to eventually one day be able to franchise our own Match It location,
Mhm.
right? Go to an official Match It lounge, and then from there you can, watch the sports game, maybe eat some food there, and it's kind of just bring like the hookah lounge atmosphere, but strictly for cannabis,
Mhm.
right? Because I know there's some people that are fully cannabis but don't like the smell of tobacco at all, so maybe if you're doing both there, I know there might be some issues where some people don't like hookah or tobacco, right?
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, and that's the goal with these dispensaries, to kind of get them to like, hey, put some money into your own lounge. You can still call it your lounge or whatever. I'm just going to bring you the traffic, and if I bring you this traffic, kind of help me out as well. So we're both to win-win situation.
Have you thought about partnering with any of the free newspapers that you see around, like Submerge or SNR? Because
Yeah.
they're advertising.
Right.
Because if they've already talked to every single place in the area, we might say, hey, let's partner, and as part of their advertising, they also include my app.
Right.
So we get them all added. The biggest thing is getting them added before we go and say, hey, I drew traffic to you.
Right.
Now you can pay me otherwise.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, the developer I was talking with, a lot of this information is public information. So when I launch, I'm going to have almost every dispensary that's available out there on our service, so people from the day one can use our service. And then from there, for like a month or two, be able to show the dispensary like, hey, if you want to keep this going, I've proven that I've brought you X amount of people already, And as far as the reaching out to these news papers and stuff like that, we've kind of held back a little bit. Well, I've kind of held back a little bit just because I'm not fully ready to launch yet. So once I'm getting closer to that, stage, we're gonna start reaching out heavily to these markets, because I do go to some of these dispensaries in Sacramento frequently, and I've talked to the owners already about it, and they're excited just to be able to pay less than what Weedmaps is charging them. But they want to see the actual product out, So there's little that I can do, and some have even talked about making those partnerships already, to build a lounge. But.
Also, how secure are kind of your user profiles on that? Because I imagine a lot of people are really hesitant, even though they want to go out and use it.
Right.
To have their picture and their name out there looking for a lead.
Right.
Their employer can see it. Or,
Right. So that's the reason why I made this, right? Because nobody on Facebook wants to post like, hey, who wants to smoke a joint with me today, right? So the point of it is so that everybody that's on this platform is strictly 420 friendly. So if your boss even has the slight idea that you smoke, he doesn't need to go on this to find you, right? To know that you smoke, right? So the point is so that I'm trying to build a platform where people are comfortable putting their stuff on there, right? Because right now there doesn't really exist something like this. That there are certain apps that try to do something similar, but not for the purpose of meeting face to face. And that's what I really want to bring. I want to bring people together and bring people into these shops to get them more clientele. And there's going to be a bunch of new people joining the community once it hits January 1st, because a lot of people that I've heard don't want to get their medicinal card, even though it's ridiculously easy, because they're scared that it might be on their file. Somebody might be able to look them up and see that they smoke cannabis, even though it's private information because it's medical. But that gives them the hesitation. But once it's fully recreational, you can buy it just like alcohol. It's
So if you're short on cash and need to advertise, one of the most ingenious things I've seen via hot advertising was, I guess it's like a pizza company or a pizza shop, and they put their information on joint wrappers and handed that out, and it was kind of like a gift that keeps on giving, because there's like 24 in there.
Yeah.
Maybe you could hand those out at concerts
Oh,
or
yeah,
wherever, right? And it just has your app or your website, so every time they're lighting one up, go to your website.
Right, and I think that's a really good idea, and that's how we're going to get creative once we do have. My goal right now is just to get the product finished so that I'm able to launch, you know. So all my money and effort has really been just going into the, you know, get the app developed, and it's not cheap. So after we get that done and get that out the way and more people start believing in this, then we can explore other options like doing that, because I can imagine that wouldn't be so cheap, you know, from the beginning to put, you know, information on joint payments and stuff like that. But, you know, getting creative like that is how we're going to survive, basically.
Have you started with any social media campaigns or building your digital presence at all?
Yeah, so we have, you know, the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter page set up already. I kind of backed off of it a little bit just because I kept on giving people like this, you know, this hope of like, okay, well, when is it going to really come out, right? When is it going to come out? And me being like, well, man, I'm not fully ready. I don't want to really like have people be like, oh, well, I heard about that like last year, right? And they never did anything, so they're nothing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just waiting a little bit but I haven't started, so because I've given over 1,000 cards through Lyft rides. I've given over 5,000 rides, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I do have a landing page set up right now for investors where they can download my full pitch deck. This is minimized. I had 25 slides, but I shortened it. So people have been going to the website, I've noticed, and they've been looking at the, you know, the PDF file pitch deck that I have there that explains the full detail.
Of course.
But she was first.
Okay.
So the interest from dispensaries will depend on the amount of users you have on the app. So have you tested the market at all to see how many people are interested, and maybe like whether people are interested in smoking with people they haven't met, or if they're comfortable with that yet?
Right. Yeah, so Weed Maps it's a proven fact that it works, right? They have over 8 million monthly users on there, and they generate about 30 million a year. And I think they have partnerships with like over 3,000 dispensaries. So, and dispensaries are willing to pay this high amount per month because they bring them in traffic. Whenever I use Weed Maps for myself, whenever I'm in a different city, so if I'm using it, I know a lot of people will use this as well. As far as dispensaries wanting to work with us, in the beginning it's going to be a little difficult because we're not going to have, you know, the thousands and, you know, millions of users, but offering them a free, you know, opportunity for like a couple months just to let us build our, you know, our users up, and then eventually then be like, okay, this is going to eventually kind of go like a snowball effect, right? You start small, but it's going to get bigger and bigger because people here are going to tell their friends, and their friends are going to tell their friends, and once it's actually on the market and people are actually using it, it's just going to spread like wildfire. So right now, that's why I feel like if we offer it for free the first couple months, and then they start seeing like, okay, yeah, we're actually bringing people in. And I actually thought of a way where, you know, once we are on market and people are coming in, and dispensaries for new patients, they always have you fill out this form, like, how did you hear about us, right? And most of the time it's Weed Maps. So once they're going to start seeing that, oh, I came here because of Match It, dispensaries are going to realize that, okay, yeah, this is really going to work. And just the fact that there isn't an app right now that, you know, lets you meet people face to face for this reason is the bigger reason why, you know, they should work with us, because, you know, there are lounges already in San Francisco that are working. So
you have your landing page and you're getting some traffic on it potentially from investors.
right.
I would suggest that you also add a way for people who are interested in using your product to like sign up to be a beta user in the future. So you're creating a mailing list. You can even send updates now and then, but you'd also, you wouldn't lose the information on who is going to your website, because they can.
Right, and they can do that through the website as well. You can, I have it set up so they can subscribe, right, put their email in, and just to get information on when we're going to launch and stuff like that.
What kind of language do you use? Like, do you just like sign up for a newsletter, or do you use something like sign up to be a beta tester, or?
Yeah, I didn't really mention beta tester, but just like newsletter, you know, to hear more about our events or, you know, certain things, updates going on with the app, to kind of keep up with the progress. But what I've just noticed is that if you don't really have something that people can test out right then and there, they kind of just lose thought of it as their day goes on.
Well, they'll lose thought of it, but you have their email address.
Right.
So you know they were interested at one point.
Right.
And then you can reach out to them, and to apply to be a beta user.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
people been signing up to that newsletter or email list at all?
I have a couple, but not as much as, nearly as much as the amount of cards I passed out, right? Because on my cards, the website's there, and if they check out the website, so we're getting views on the website, right? People are actually going on it because, most of the time, I don't really tell them that, what the website is fully about, so that I can kind of give them, out of curiosity, they can go check it. Maybe I can start using it right away, right? So I have noticed that there is traffic coming to the website, but I haven't seen too many people sign up, and I'm assuming because people probably feel like, well, I don't want to get spammed, I don't want to start receiving cannabis, information all the time, but
That's why the saying applied to be a beta user.
Right.
To be, more of a reason for them to sign up, because nobody wants newsletters.
Yeah, right.
Sort of like, I feel like if you're signing to be first, you're one of the first to.
Yeah, no, for sure, yeah.
Interesting. Give it a test.
Have you considered building an alliance or some type of link with Ease or even Leafy?
Right.
Because you mentioned that you have a description of every single strain where you probably know Leafly are probably the leaders in that.
Yep.
So I would recommend if you kind of build up an alliance with them and let them run that side of your thing.
And I did have that in there, and we are.
Yeah, and I think that's.
I
I know somebody else that's contacted them, and they're quite open to new partnerships and whatnot.
Yeah.
Another thing is that I do a lot of research with the cannabis with the city hall and what's happening.
Okay.
And what's happening right now is that they're quite uneducated on how to do things.
Right.
So what they're looking for is key people to come along and help them and guide them on how they can do that.
Yeah.
With the lounges, even in January you said that it's becoming recreational. They're still in the process of trying to eliminate the Mickey Mouse dispensaries, because there's over 150 dispensaries in Sacramento that are running illegally. So they're trying to, the storefront dispensaries, there's only 30 dispensaries now, and there's only going to be 30 available. So they're saying that they're going to give those dispensaries the opportunity to have that lounge opportunity before they start pitching it out to everybody else. And they said close to September next year is when they're looking to try and implement the go-ahead for that. And one more thing I would like to mention is that membership and loyalty programs right now in the cannabis industry is becoming really popular.
Right.
A lot of people are going and are signing up for dispensaries because they have this loyalty program where you buy like an eighth.
Right.
Every time you buy an eighth, the fifth one will be free and the last one will be free.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend what she said with the beta, but also have some type of incentive with some of the dispensaries. If you join up, then you get a free join, or you buy one, get one free or whatnot, type of thing. So, but I have a lot of contacts that I can help you that. To give you emails and whatnot, because I do a lot of work for them. So I would.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you said that they're kind of uneducated. That's how it is. Everybody, the older generation still has the old mindset of war on drugs. Weed is a gateway drug, right? All this bad publicity for it. So a lot of people haven't really looked into changing, but like these other states that have already done it, like Washington, Colorado, Nevada, they're realizing that there is a demand for this and people are okay with this, and just how we have bars on almost every other corner, right?
Yeah.
They are getting traffic. So for the big dispensaries like North Star here, North Star Holistics, I know they offer that reward points and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of the deliveries do that. What the city are trying to do, their main concern is regulation. They don't know how to regulate it, so that's what they're working on. They're trying to think, how can we regulate everything? Cut out Mickey Mouses.
And it's nice because I found out about other startups in the cannabis industry that are doing that, or trying to cover that part where they're regulating certain things. There was recently information about dispensaries in Southern California that most of their cannabis had pesticides in it.
Yeah.
So and this is why I really wanted to go fully legal federally, so that there could be more regulations on there. People could actually know what type of stuff they're receiving, right? What type of things they're ingesting. But people feel like, if we legalize weed, then everybody's going to be smoking, kids are going to be smoking and stuff like that. But I don't really believe in that, So I just want, to bring more attention. But as far as like the information for strains, that's where we're going to grab most of our information, because Leafly has proven, they've done the lab testing, they put private research into it, spent a lot of money into that, and they're the largest online website for cannabis, because they provide accurate information about their strains and stuff like that. So we're definitely looking to build a partnership with them so that all our information can be trusted. If somebody goes on my app and looks at a specific strain for anxiety or insomnia, you know, I want people to really feel like, okay, they can trust that this strain really is going to help me with that.
So we have time for one more.
If you have time.
So one of the things I suggest, you mentioned several times that you're not being totally forthcoming on the website or not saying exactly what you're doing or, you know, I would focus on that language. Laura made a really good point. I just wanted to like follow up on it, and that there's a lot of really cool apps and services that I use now that I signed up for when they were like a concept.
Right.
And there's plenty of early adopters, and those are the people you want who will sign up willingly if they know that, you know, in 2 years they're gonna get an email about this cool thing. Hopefully it's not 2 years, but right. And so you could really capitalize and do a lot of early work by putting together like a cool video or something about what you're doing and really make it convincing and make it like just the thing, you know, like tell the story. And there's plenty of companies that get away with it, and it's as long as you're going to follow up, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, and the thing is, 90% of like the people I pitch it to, they're excited. They want to use it right then and there. You know, they're like, oh, can I download it right now? I'm just like, not yet, but check out our website. You know, keep our you know, you can sign up and we'll keep you updated. But
just tune up that language.
Yeah,
and like
beta.
Make it very clear and invite people. Like be more proactive in getting people to sign up, because you know you have 4,000 people signed up, and then you release the app and they're all like stoked and ready to use it.
Yeah,
they're gonna love it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'll definitely look into that. Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah.